growing up, I just started playing basketball, and I also played football and baseball too. But so basketball just kind of stuck with me, and I've just been playing for my whole life, and it's just been my favorite sport ever since. Definitely winning, like just having been successful. I think that's what made me stick with basketball too, because I've always been on some pretty good teams, and so it's always been fun and winning and growing up and growing like relationships with teammates and everything else. Probably, I mean, when you're like you play sports for a while, you're gonna have injuries and stuff like that. So I would say probably overcoming injuries and just trying to stick with it, because nothing can always go your way. So you just gotta stick with everything and fight through adversity. I practice probably around 10 to 15 hours a week. Again, everything's not always going to go your way, so just fighting, just keep sticking with it. And when people look up to you, you always got to be on your A game, so you always just got to give 100% and appreciate all the gifts God's given you, and just, using your talents to the best of your ability. So, I was interviewed in the summer, and I had said I modeled my game after Kevin Love, just because he's kind of like a stretch four and can spread the floor out, and he rebounds the ball well. So I try to do that offensively and defensively, guarding a bigger player and having to box him out.
My relationship with Mitchell is we're pretty close friends. We talk quite a bit. We sometimes hang with each other off and on the court, and we're just friends. Just with me and Mark and Mitchell, we're all just a few friends. Mitchell, he's a great shooter, so I look up to his shooting and to his knowledge about basketball, and his passing and his trying to get open for a quick shot. Having good friendships with your teammates, it helps. Just knowing what other people like to do and where they like to shoot and where they like to get to the basket, how they like to get to the basket, and just knowing what their defense is like, and just having good chemistry. Just talk about basketball and talk about people that we're going to play and people that we have played, whether we think they were pretty good or not. He'll try to get people Mitchell, he'll try to get people focused sometimes. So, but he is kind of a goofy one too.
So what is enjoyable about coaching a kid like Mitchell is the first thing you think about when you talk about a kid like Mitchell is talent, because obviously he's really good. I always tell him he's our best player on the team, which comes with challenges of its own, because when you're the best player, you're looked at to, be a leader and score. You have to do everything well, and Mitchell's a kid that does everything well. So, also Mitch is a good kid. So I'd say, talent number one. But it's nice when you're coaching a kid that likes playing basketball and enjoys winning as much as you do, because sometimes kids don't want to win or don't realize that they have to have that desire to be a good basketball player, and he has that desire. And he showed it this weekend in the tournament with his talent. And what's been challenging for Mitchell, he's been playing varsity so long that he's always kind of been the second, third, or fourth option on pretty good varsity teams, and now he's had to learn how to adjust to being, the guy, the man on the team that everybody looks up to. And I think the enjoyable part of that is also the challenging part of that, because as the coach on the team, you have to keep a kid engaged at all times. And it's like I said, instead of being 2, 3, or 4 on the list, he's now number 1. And when you're number 1 on the list, everybody on the team looks at you you need to produce. So he's accepted that challenge, and I think he's starting to come into that role for us, and started to play a little bit better. And it showed this weekend. Like I said, we won 3 games, won the Blue Stem Classic, and he was a big part of that. He was the MVP of the tournament. And I think Mitchell leading the team It was challenging at the beginning of the year for him because, again, like I said, he's had to adjust a little bit. And he's played on the other thing is Mitchell's played a lot of basketball. He's played on a lot of summer league teams where there's been a lot of talent. He's played on a lot of talented Capen basketball teams. Not saying that our team now is just as talented as previous teams, but now instead of that talent being seniors and juniors, and Mitchell is a sophomore or Mitchell is a junior, Mitchell is now the senior, and he's looked at to be, the man. And he's been doing a good job, better. He's a good vocalizer. He's good at putting guys where they need to be. Hey, you're here. Defensively, he's one of our vocal pillars, if you will, on defense, and he puts people where they need to be, and he's been doing a good job of doing that. And that's, like I said, that's reflected in our games recently, where we've played better and we've beaten a few good teams. So, that's what I'd say about Mitchell being a leader. Is he's had to adjust a little bit, and just like we've had to adjust to kind of a new team every single year, he's had to adjust to a new role. So. Some of my favorite story, Mitchell wasn't playing JV the first game of the year, his freshman year, and I don't remember who got hurt. Somebody on our JV team got hurt, and it's one of the best JV teams I've ever had. But so I told Coach Culberson, I said, hey, we need a big guy. Our big guy got hurt. Wish I could remember who got hurt, but somebody got hurt, and we needed a big guy. And I said, Coach Culberson, we need somebody. He goes, hey, take Mitchell. And I didn't know who Mitchell was, I go, hey, what's Mitchell's last? I'm trying to write in the book. And somebody said, Wood is Wood, and that's all I got. So I was like, so I put Woodsman in the book, right? So Mitchell was Mitchell Woodsman for I think we didn't lose a game that year until our 13th game. So I put Mitchell Woodsman in the book for 12 of our first games because, when you're winning, you don't change something. So then so the Woodsman, I still call him Woodsman, or Wooderson from a movie, is what it changed to after we lost, because if you lose, you got to change things up a little bit. But his freshman year, we won the JV tournament at Southeast, which none of those City League teams ever give us a chance to win, and that was big time. For me being the head coach of the JV team, that was nice, and those kids winning, that was fun. Mitchell's sophomore year, we go to the state title game with a absolutely just super fun team with Meitzner and Thomas Wells and Brock Monty being a senior leader. And then Mitchell, the Woodsman, as I called him that year, hitting some big shots, and it was just a fun team. Last year was a lot of fun. And, like I kind of said at the beginning, Mitchell's just a good kid, so it's a lot of fun to just have fun with a kid like that. And I'm really lucky to have coached him the last 4 years and just been part of his progression as a basketball player, and so I wish him all the best in the future with whatever he wants to do, because I think just my favorite thing about Mitchell will be, 20 years from now, I'm not going to remember scores or records or anything like that, but I'll remember, that Mitchell Woodward was just a good kid, a good representation of Capen, and a good athlete for the Cape Mount Carmel basketball team. So, those are the things that'll stick out in my mind. And he's an easy kid to root for.